I'm Steve Dluogsz, agronomist with Harvestland Co-op,
And I'm Brandon Lovett, seed manager for Harvestland Co-op.
and we wanted to visit with you a few minutes today about the 2019 crop as far as seed quality, germination, maybe some things to watch out for. So, Brandon, it was an interesting fall to say the least. A lot of guys were filming this in mid-January, and unfortunately, there's still some of the crop in the field. But the soybean crop in particular had a difficult time, and especially with some of the harvest and some of the quality, and that's kind of spilled over into what we would be calling concerns for seed quality as a whole. What are some of your thoughts of what that is, what it means to the industry, how wide is that a concern, and then maybe what are some steps the farmer can take to help with this?
Yeah, it's very possible that typically we see 90% germination soybeans be the industry standard. I believe for the 2019, 85% germ will become the standard. It's very possible that we'll see some lower germination tags come out on soybeans this year. So we could see 80% germ soybeans for the 2019 crop.
And your feel is, because you've been in the seed industry for a number of years, it's across all brands.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't isolated to a specific geography or a specific brand. The 2018 crop, those same problems that you incurred in fields grown locally, that you hauled the grain directly to town or storing them in the bins, are the same problems that our seed producers had.
Okay, so let's just kind of go through. Brandon's done a good job kind of putting together some talking points of what we might consider as maybe some ways to mitigate this situation. So where would you start? What suggestions could you make?
I think seed treatment is key. The number one thing that I would tell you is pathogens like Pythium, Phytophthora, Rhizoctonia can reduce stands. So we can actually get seed germinated, get that stuff headed in the right direction and up, but those diseases can reduce stands. And so we want to make sure we've got viable, productive members of society out there. And one of the ways we can do that is with products like Warden RTA or Acceleron F.
Okay.
We can control disease.
Okay, so again, you're saying if you're going in with a low germination to begin with, and then you lose some more members to those standard diseases we see, a guy could really be in a bad shape.
Yeah.
And this would be important. Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually good, because I'll tell you, it's a tough sell right now for a lot of guys. I mean, there's expense with that. And I know some of the conversations that I've had is farmers considering that as maybe being a place to maybe save a little bit, but what I hear you saying is probably not a good place to look.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Steve, I think one of the things we've looked at saving was we've eliminated maybe the insecticide portion of a seed treatment. So we've gone from fungicide insecticide treatment to just a fungicide only. Again, I think that the fungicide seed treatment is key, but that insecticide can be important too, because the plant's whole job in its life is to intercept sunlight. And anytime we have insects feeding on leaf surface, we are actually possibly affecting yield in the long run. And so we want to make sure we've got good, healthy plants started off in the field, and eliminating any insect pressure out there will help overall plant health.
Okay. Now, speaking of productive members of society, I like the way you said that. Population, the trend's obviously been for a number of years. Guys are lowering their population, actually having quite a bit of success. So talk to us in light of the idea that germination's down, quality is a concern. Just how low do you want to go?
Yeah, I think for years we've overpopulated soybeans out here in the field. We were extremely high. I think we needed to do that in a lot of instances. Because we weren't utilizing seed treatments, we had to overpopulate to overcome.
We weren't planting beans back then. They were basically spilling them on the ground through a drill.
Yep. And now with enhancements in equipment, better equipment technology, I think we've got a lot better chance of getting beans up out of the ground and get them going. So we've started in the last several years actually reducing plant populations at the farm. And in 2019, I encourage all growers to make sure we take a look at the seed tag, understand what that germination percentage is. If it is less than typical, which is 90%, we want to make sure that we're backfilling in and probably increasing our drop rate to ensure that we end up with the plant stand that we expect.
Okay, I think that's really good, because that's a difficult lesson to learn once everything's in the ground.
Yeah. I get a lot of conversations with our sales force and with growers, and they ask what kind of populations should we drop, and there's always three questions that I ask. Number one, what's the row spacing? Number two, is this a treated soybean or an untreated soybean? And number three, is this a no-till or a conventional tilled field that we're planting into? And obviously, when we get into situations where we're conventional tilled with treated soybeans, those are opportunities for us to lower our populations. But in no-till situations, and if we aren't treating those soybeans, we need to make sure that we actually keep our seeding rates high enough to ensure a proper seed stand.
If I got to sit here listening to you talk, I would throw a fourth one in, that is the consideration of a lot of these fields, crop came out pretty rough. And a lot of these fields are really roughed up. So there could be a lot of issues just going across the field this year.
Yep.
And so again, just all that has to, I think, be taken into account, that it may not be the year to try to get even lower, it may be a year to start thinking the other direction.
And everybody's local situation is a little bit different. Everybody's dealing with different soil types. Everybody's dealing with different soil conditions. So adjust appropriately. You've got the knowledge of the operation, so you can make that call on your own.
One of the things I know you spoke to our salesman the other day about getting the crop, getting it ordered, getting the seed that you want, and then trying to bring that to the farm. Why did you give that kind of coaching to our harvest line partners here?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is as these seed companies are deciding what lots they're going to take off of the farm and start to process and bag for the 2019 year, they're going to take the best lots first. So they're going to probe these bins, they're going to send those in for a germ test, and the best lots will be processed first, and those will be the first lots that are actually shipped to each one of these locations. So having ownership of the seed, or having that actually on your floor, first in will be the best quality. It's going to be the tail end of this thing when we're probably going to see seed germination rates actually come in the lower range.
Okay, and you kind of had a final thought for the group, and that was you're not a big fan of replanting. I've never been that. I'm never comfortable with it. Every once in a while we have a good year where we make the decision. It's actually pretty good, but you really want to try to do the best you can up front, so that's not considered later.
Yeah, replants are never a good situation. We've missed that optimum window for highly productive soybeans. I mean, I think we can all say that earlier planted soybeans are usually some of the higher yields that we see. By the time we are able to make a replant decision, we could be 30, maybe even 40 days out. And so that optimum window is gone. So replants aren't good. So starting off with seed treatments and proper populations are going to be key to our success. Probably a little bit higher level for 2019 than we've seen for the last couple of years.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that we're getting the word out there, that just put a little thought into the process, maybe a little bit more thought than we've done for the last several years, because seed germination rates and seed quality have been pretty good.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys have found this helpful. We thought it'd be a good topic to kind of get out there. Feel free to call on your local Harvest Land sales representative, and we'd be happy to talk with you in more detail. So take care.
Thank you.